I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. Isn't that a great line? Can you actually say that to yourself every day? If your inner critic comes up, can you just say, you know what? I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. Give me a break. Back off. So today, that's what I'm going to be talking about, is just giving ourselves a big old break. Don't you think we need it with all that we've gone through over these last few years? So I have a question for you. Did you wake up this morning, put your little feet on the floor, walk into the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror and go, oh my God, have you gotten more beautiful overnight? Did you say that? Did you look at your body and go, this divine, exquisite thing, look at you. I'm so grateful for how perfect you are. Did you do that? Or did you start dancing? Did you start dancing with your critic that early in the morning, just going, oh my God, everything's dropping and I look terrible and oh, I'm fat. So this is what I'm going to talk about today. It's about being gentle with yourself, about being compassionate, about taking back your power from that critic that wants to just jump in and just give you every reason why you should not shine your light, because we are all here to shine our lights. And actually, I'm going to be honest with you. This talk is very selfish because I truly believe that when we are gentle with ourselves and we allow ourselves to not think we have to be perfect all the time, when we get out of that place where we're thinking about ourselves and criticizing, and we open up more to the world, when we are kinder to ourselves, we are kinder to other people. In other words, when you're kinder to you, you're going to be kinder to me. And I truly believe in this world that we're living in right now, with all the craziness that's happening, that this is what we need. We need to heal this world with love, don't you think? We need to heal this world with love, and that love starts with you. It starts with you being loving and compassionate and sweet to yourself. Because truly, when you are that, you're going to put that out into the world. So I love this little quote. The 14th century poet Hafiz wrote, once a woman came up to me and said, Hafiz, what is the sign of someone who really knows God? I became very quiet and looked deep into her eyes and replied, my dear, they have dropped the knife. Someone who knows God has dropped the cruel knife that most so often use upon their tender self and others. They've dropped the knife. So are you willing to do that? Are you willing to let go of that place in you that wants to always criticize, show, focus in on your flaws? I mean, we know in our philosophy that anything that we focus in on grows. So Louise Hay, I think, said, why don't you try loving yourself? Because the other way hasn't worked so well. What would it look like if you loved yourself more? And I love Cheryl Richardson once said, what would it look like if the only resolution you made for the year, for your lifetime, the only resolution you made was to love yourself more? What a concept, huh? So, before we do this, put your hand over your heart. Put your hand over your heart for 1 minute and just say, as much as it might feel awkward to do this, or you might not believe it, but just for this one moment, just try it on and just say, I am loved, I am whole, I am complete, I am perfect. Just repeat after me, I am whole, I am loved, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm creative. So your homework assignment for me this week is, I want you to write 5 I ams. So I am blank. I am blank. What is it? I am what? Because the most powerful thing that you can affirm is anything you say after I am. So whenever you say, oh, I'm not good at this, or oh, I look bad today, anything that you say after I am is like a declaration. So just start to watch what you say. What is it that you say to yourself? We have 60,000 thoughts a day. So my question to you is, how many of those thoughts are positive? How many are loving and kind to yourself? I'll tell you a secret that I have 22 albums out at this point, and every song is what I am trying to affirm in my life, what I'm working on. I always get to say that, if you listen to my songs, you get to see what all my issues are, but it's true, because whatever I'm working on, prosperity or health or healing or whatever, I write a chant about it so that I can remember it, so that I can drop down into that deeper knowing of what it is that I want to affirm and who I am. I had a situation a while ago where I did something really stupid, and I just was beating myself up and just going, oh, Drucker, you are so dumb, and why did you do that? And I just was like heaping all this criticism, and my inner critic was just diving on in and just reading me the riot act. And I called a friend of mine because I thought, oh, maybe she'll make me feel better about me. I called a friend of mine and I said, you wouldn't believe this stupid thing I did. And she said, stop. She said, stop right there. She said, I will not let you talk to my friend that way. I will not let you talk to my friend that way. So she said, would you ever imagine speaking to a child the way you're speaking to yourself right now? And I thought about it and I went, well, no. She said, what would you do to a child? If a child was just standing up for the first time trying to learn how to walk, you would be going, oh, come on, little one, you can do it, little sweet one. Good thing. You're so sweet. You would do everything that was kind and considerate and compassionate. So she said, just think about that. And I got off the phone and I just instinctively did this. I said, okay, what do I need to say to myself? And I started to rock myself. There have been so many studies of children that when they are not getting nurturing from a parent, they will just do this. They just know how to self-nurture, and they will rock themselves. And so I started doing that. And, whenever I'm upset about something, I will do this. I'll just start rocking myself. But in that moment, I heard this voice just say, oh, honey, just sweetheart. Always start with sweetheart. That always works. Be gentle with yourself. I just kept saying, be gentle with yourself. Be tender with your heart. So from that place, I just wrote this little chant. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. Can you sing that with me? I will be gentle with myself. Gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. And then it says, I will be tender with my heart. Actually, I'll sing you the middle part that just says, I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Doesn't that just give you space? I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. This is one of my favorite lines to say. I will be easy on myself. Don't we need that? I will be easy on myself. Love myself. I love myself like a newborn baby child. Oh, sing that again. We need to hear that one. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. Love myself. Love myself like a newborn baby child. All right, let's affirm and say, I am gentle. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. I rock myself like a newborn baby child. Sing that again. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. Rock myself like a newborn baby child. I hold myself. I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I love myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. So doesn't that just feel good to say to yourself, I'll be gentle. The next time my inner critic comes up and says anything to me, I'm going to choose to be compassionate with myself. And you know what's interesting? So my music now is on all these different streaming platforms, Spotify and Pandora. And someone told me recently, and I didn't even know this, that song, that little chant, I will be gentle with myself, has over like 2 million streams. And I looked at that and compared it to the, other songs of mine. I thought, isn't that interesting? That's the number one song, number one chant of mine that people are listening to. And why is that? Why is that message coming through to so many people that they want to hear that? Because that's what we need to tell ourselves. I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. And when times get hard, I'm going to be gentle with myself. And yeah, sure, you get triggered. Your inner critic comes up and goes, who do you think you are? Or whatever it says. But you get to choose. You get to constantly do a very gentle course correction. I love visuals. And did you know that when a plane flies from San Francisco to Hawaii, it's off course 98% of the time? And what the computer does is it keeps simply correcting. And, that's what meditation really is all about. You breathe, you're trying to get into the state of bliss, but your mind starts going off. And what the practice of meditation is actually is you keep coming back to the breath. You keep coming back. So notice I didn't say that the plane was going, oh, you idiot, what are you doing? No, you're not supposed to go here. You're supposed to go there. What are you doing? Why don't you listen? It just keeps correcting. So why can't we do that with ourselves? Why can't we gently just go, oh, gee, went off track. Oh, went off my diet. Oh, get back on track. Oh, I was planning to exercise and I went off, I stopped doing it and started eating more. Oh, gee, course correction, get back on the track. And doing it without all the judgment and all the shame. Take all those tired messages that we get from our critic and just say, back off. All right, so I'm going to give you something here. Little thing. When that critic comes up, because the critic's going to come up. That's what it's hired to do. It's like we've hired this little person to keep us in check, but sometimes it goes a little too far. And so what I want to teach you is this. When it comes up and starts saying things to you, I know you are there. I hear what you say, but that is not my truth today. Got that? I know you are there. I hear what you say. But you know what? What you're saying, that's old stuff. That's not my truth today. So I want you to add this little visual, though. I know you are there. I hear what you say, but you have to do this. So practice this with me. It's a little like, hell no. But that is not my truth today. Okay? I hope you're doing this at home because I want you to do this next time. But that's not my truth today. And here's the thing. Carolyn Mace talked about this, that there's this thing called the 6-second moment. And the 6-second moment is a situation where this usually happens in childhood, that something happens to you. And in that moment you go, oh, that's the way it works. Oh, here's the belief system I need to incorporate. Oh, this is what it is. And a lot of times what that critic is, it's just coming up with those old, tired belief systems that we're done with. It's just, it served us when we were 13 to feel this way, but no longer. We've grown. We've been in these wonderful churches. We've been hearing these wonderful messages of self-empowerment and loving ourselves. And those messages just don't work. One of my favorite expressions is, stop watering dead plants. Just stop watering. Stop giving life to things that no longer serve you. I mean, you're hearing this talk in the spring. Spring is about new beginnings and letting go, doing spring cleaning. Well, let's spring clean some of our beliefs, shall we? Let's just start, looking at what no longer serves us. That's what I'd like to talk about today. So I had a 6-second moment that I would like to share with you. And this is a story. I would call this one of my signature stories. I haven't done this story in a while, but it's one of my favorite stories to tell because it was truly when I learned how I could take control over my critic. So when I was about 13, this happened when I was about 13 or 14 years old. And I grew up in Hollywood, California. Yes, people were actually born in Hollywood. And when I was growing up, I was what you would call a drip, kind of a geek, a nerd. I would straighten my hair. I had acne and braces and was just kind of a book nerd. And I didn't do music. I was a competitive swimmer. That's all I knew how to do. And I was just wanting to fit in and just didn't. I was just kind of geeky. But I'm afraid you're looking at me right now and you can't really visualize that because I'm such a supermodel now. So I brought a little visual. So this is me on picture day in 8th grade. So I just want to set the scene for this story that I'm going to tell you by what I looked like. So here am I. Okay, you love this? Here am I in 8th grade. It's picture day. Now, do you notice the slick down hair? Because it was like, God forbid anyone would see I have curly hair. And do you love the braces? With a full set of braces, I'm going. So yes, this is me. Thank God, I look better. But now I know some of you are probably going, "Oh my God, that poor thing, sweet little poor thing." But you all have the same exact picture as that, right? Somewhere in your childhood, you have that same picture. So no pity. So at that time, I had a mentor. I had someone that I looked up to that I thought, she was just everything to me. She went to my same junior high school. She went to the high school that I would be going to very soon. She had made it in the big time. She was just my idol, and her name was Carol Burnett. Now, do y'all know Carol Burnett? Remember the Carol Burnett show? And so what I did was I was such a super fan that I would get out of school every Friday, take the bus down to CBS Television Center in Hollywood. I would wait in line for 2 hours and I would always be like the first one in line. So when they opened up the doors, I would run to the seat that was right in the front of the stage. And I would always wear the same little outfit. This is kind of pathetic. I'd wear the same little outfit so that I would be sitting in the same seat, wearing the same outfit. And pretty soon she would come out and wink at me. So it was like, oh my God, like Carol Burnett, we're like BFFs. And remember when she did the call and response, when she did the question and answer period? Well, one day, I'm just sitting there with everybody else watching her do this. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, my hands started to get all sweaty. And my heart is starting to race. And I'm thinking, am I having a panic attack? What is happening to me? But unbeknownst to me, my body decided to do something totally different than what my mind had, and my body put my hand up. And all of a sudden, my hand is raised, and she looks down. She probably wants to know who this weird stalker kid is. She goes, yes, what question do you have? And I'm like a deer in the headlights. I have no idea why I raised my hand, but thank God, this is when I learned spirit works in mysterious ways. I remembered in that moment that I had just won the Edgar Rice Burroughs Tarzan calling contest the week before. So I said, I'd like to challenge you to a Tarzan calling contest. And do you remember this was like her thing, was her Tarzan yell. So she goes, great, come on up on stage. And so all of a sudden now I'm up on stage in front of the entire world, on stage next to my idol, on television with Carol Burnett. And I'm just beside myself. I'm like out of my body going, oh my God, what is happening? I've never been on stage before. All these people are just smiling at me and giving me all this love. And I'm just in heaven. And so in that moment where I'm just totally in heaven, I all of a sudden look out, and right around the third row is this whole line of girls, the cool girls from my school. And they're all doing that Valley Girl thing of going, oh my God, is that Karen Drucker? Oh my God, we don't know her. She's so weird. And they're all going to each other, and they're just rolling their eyes at me, and they're just like mortified that I'm up there because, they don't want to have anything to do with me. And in that moment, in that exact 6-second moment, I just went, oh my God, I have to get out of here. I'm mortified. I'm humiliated. How do I get out of here? And I gave them all the power in that moment. And my critic also weighed in at that moment going, who do you think you are to be up here? You're just a geek. What are you doing? But that's when I realized that I was a choice. That even at that young age, I must have had some sense of how spirit works, because I literally could feel that there was like a line right in front of me, and I could either step over that line and say, back off to my critic. I could take my power back from those girls. I could be all of who I am and shine my light, or I could stay back here and listen to the critic and give them the power. And in that moment, in that 6-second moment, I looked at Carol Burnett, I looked at those girls, I looked at the audience all smiling at me, and I went, let me see if I can do this. I haven't done that for a while. I'm a little rusty. Thank you very much. But I did my Tarzan yell. And truly, it was my 6-second moment, because in that moment, I said, I can be a choice. I can claim my power back when my critic says, stop it. Don't do that. Who do you think you are? You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not this enough. And that's what I want us to empower today, is when you get triggered and your critic comes up, how can you be gentle with yourself and say, what does my heart have to say right now to me? What is it that I know intuitively about myself that I can declare right now? When we go from that place of focusing in on our small self and so involved in all of our little issues and our problems and our little baggage that we've been carrying forever, and we're just kind of stuck like this, as opposed to opening up to the bigger world, to being able to look around, to being able to see other people and see how we can be in service. The Buddha said, I love this quote, you must love yourself before you can love another. By accepting yourself fully, being who and what you are, your simple presence can make other people happy. In other words, just you being who you are makes a difference. Your gift makes a difference in the world. He said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. And then Desmond Tutu said, do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that will heal the world. That will heal the world. So not only is it being kind and compassionate to yourself, when you come from that place first, then you can look around and see other people and see how kind and compassionate you are to them. So I'll give you one more little story here. I have these friends, Jerry and Diane, and they're an older couple, and Jerry every morning would make a bagel. And he would slice the bagel so that all these sesame seeds would go all over the counter. And Diane would come into the kitchen a little later to get her coffee, and there would be bagel seeds everywhere. And for some reason, this made her insane, because every day she'd say, Jerry, can you just sweep up the bagel seeds so that it's not this dirty kitchen when I come in to get my coffee? Just sweep up the bagel seeds. And every morning he'd go, oh, yes, dear, I will, and never did it. And one day she came in, and her daily quality of being every morning would be anger, that she'd get, her day would start with being pissy at Jerry. But one day she came in, and she looked at those bagel seeds, and it was one of those moments that go like this. This is what transformation can be, that all of a sudden in one moment you just have that choice, that change of how you've been. And she looked at those bagel seeds and she said, one day those bagel seeds won't be here. One day he'll be gone, and I'll wish that I could sweep up his bagel seeds. And by being gentle in that moment with herself, with him, she had a transformation, that she could just acknowledge that it upset her, but acknowledge that that meant that he was still here and that she could love him. And so I think when we come from that place of filling up our well, being kind to ourselves, with all our issues and our mistakes and our imperfections, all of that stuff, when we can just acknowledge it all and be kind and gentle, that's what it all starts with. Giving our gift to the world. That's all that we need to do. So thanks for listening, because you are a gift.